the greatest Divas champion is.
Made such a huge splash in her debut.
Undefined
Champion of Divas.
The great lucha legend herself.
the inaugural Divas champion.
Literally look at NXT. This is hard.
Will probably get canceled.
Okay.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is Diaz.
And the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
And today, we're gonna do something that we haven't done before.
I know, I'm pretty excited about this.
Will probably get canceled.
Okay. More than likely.
Very controversial video because we will decide who the greatest Divas champion is today.
And that's gonna be fact. Whatever we decide, that's the rule from now on. I'm just kidding.
Some of the wrestlers in Divas champion, they have like such strong fan base.
For sure. Very strong opinions, very strong fan base, one way or the other.
But it's gonna be really fun. We found this tournament game. It randomly comes up with this like World Cup brackets.
So it's like auto-generated, so it's not like we're coming up with it. Somebody else is. So like y'all go do it too and then yell at us afterwards.
Alright, let's go right into it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So there's 16 choices, but we only, right?
There are a total of 17 Divas champion in the history, so one of them will be automatically left out. Starting with our first choice, Layla L versus Melina.
Coming in hot already. Okay, so my first initial thought is every time I see Layla, I automatically think of the co-champions because that was like such a great, very iconic reign. Somebody the other day on Instagram even asked me what's my favorite reign ever, and I literally chose Lay Cole because like the cute little best friends belt. Like, that's adorable. Hasn't been done before, hasn't been done since. Yeah. So I think that's iconic. So every time I see Layla, I picture the women's title, not the Divas title.
Interesting. That's how I feel about Melina too, though.
Yeah, okay.
Because her iconic match was like with Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
And with the Beth Phoenix, the whole feud with the women's championship.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with Melina with this. Just because I have such a strong feeling and like opinion with Layla and
for the women's champion.
That's
okay,
why.
I'll go with you then, because Melina, I mean, her whole split is like that's diva.
Agree.
Her whole
for
look,
sure.
her entrance.
Her entrance. I mean, she had paparazzi coming out. Who DS was once Melina's paparazzi, so she definitely screams diva for that for sure.
This is really difficult from the first choice.
I know. That's why I'm like, oh man, starting off hot.
We could go with Melina.
Oh really?
So best friends, we got AJ Lee and Caitlyn. I mean,
this is kind of easy. We're gonna say exactly that. Exactly that.
Caitlyn had a really good Divas Championship reign.
For sure.
Think. It's very underrated, but it's AJ Lee.
It'd be really hard to pick anybody versus AJ Lee, honestly. Like whoever it was, even especially in the first round, that'd be super hard. But I definitely agree with you about Caitlyn, especially when you said underrated run as Divas champion. But I think she's underrated as a wrestler in general, for sure. And plus, she was always super entertaining. You could always tell she had a personality that wasn't like being forced.
And the skunk hair.
Yeah, I loved it.
Iconic.
Very early 2000s.
Well, it's AJ Lee. AJ Lee. All right.
For sure.
And this episode is sponsored by Dossier. And they just sent us this mystery box.
Ooh, what is it?
So they just launched their original genderless fragrance collection, and they just sent it to us so we can unbox it and try it for ourselves.
Cannot wait to try it out. Ooh. Ooh, they come with little test strips.
The first one is called Sunny, Vetiver, and Neroli.
Ooh, I can smell it already.
Ooh, okay.
It's very refreshing, woodsy outdoors.
Yeah. It reads a top that reads book.
Ooh.
They can also build bookshelf for you.
It's really good. Next up, we have fiery leather.
And rubber.
Ooh, I love anything leather.
I know you do, Paloma.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. This is sexy.
I feel like this is what Rhea Ripley smells like.
I was thinking Shaniqua. Sexy, this is like irresistible.
This is a very nighttime smell.
And then the last one, caramelized lavender and hazelnut.
Oh, ooh, interesting. So fresh.
Ooh.
I like this one. I think this is like a first date scent.
This is like a coffee shop. Barista.
Yeah.
Taylor the Latte Boy. Thank you, Dossier, so much for sending us the new genderless collection, and we're very, very excited about the launch of it. And just for the Ring the Bell fans, we have the special code.
Don't forget, 10 ring the bell, save you some money.
You can get 10%, and on top of it, for the newcomers, there's a welcome offer, 20% off, so you can stack them together and get the whopping 30% discount. Thank you so much, Dossier.
Thank you.
Oh, Natalia versus Mickie James. Natalia.
Yes, Natalia. Not because, of course, Mickie James is absolutely legend, but once again, kind of like with the Layla thing.
And even Mickie cannot blame us because she had a whole tweet about how she loves Women's Championship way more than Divas Championship. That was a tea.
That was scorching tea for a while there, too. It was just kept on popping up in my timeline.
Yeah. Mickie's a legend, but she's more known with Women's Championship, Knockout Championship.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Eve Torres and Paige.
Okay, this one might be a little bit harder than the first one.
Paige winning the Divas Championship on her debut on main roster.
I will never forget that. That was like so cool. I was like, wait, what? Like, I did not see that coming at all, and I was very happy. And I feel like, honestly, Paige was one of the first, like, internet indie darlings that got really made in WWE. Not only got signed, but made such a huge splash in her debut. It stands out in my mind so much. But also, Eve Torres.
Eve Torres!
It's just Eve Torres. Like, embodies and encompasses everything that the Divas champion stood for. And I think she definitely elevated that championship for sure.
She has the most number of title reigns, too, in Divas Championship. I honestly did not really like her first couple of reigns, but the last one, when she was heel, when she was like diva-licious, that was what I was in for.
You know, it's either quantity over quality in this one, I think. I'm not saying that like quality wasn't like Eve Torres, but she definitely had way more reigns. What I remember specifically from Paige's diva reign is her winning it. I don't know if I remember any super times like she like defended her or like her feud with it. I just remember her winning it.
It's really just a lot of AJ Lee stuff and then Tamina's wonky contact lens.
Basically, what I'm saying is her winning it outweigh everything that Eve Torres did.
You think it's Paige?
No, I think it's Eve Torres. But I'm saying,
let's go with Eve Torres.
Okay, let's go with Eve Torres.
Eve Torres.
This is a good one, though. I like talking about this match. Oh!
Maurice versus Charlotte Flair. Maurice just screams Divas champion to me.
I feel like Charlotte was like the very tail end of the Divas reign, so I don't think we have enough like to go off on. But I feel like the Divas championship was way more predominant while Maurice was still like active as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So probably Maurice. I mean, that doesn't mean like Charlotte's not a good champion. She just like wasn't as good of a Divas champion as Maurice. Charlotte's always gonna win everything. Multiple times.
Yeah. She is like 15 of these.
Yeah, totally. So yes, Maurice.
Maurice. Sure. You all remember her whole feud with Nikki Bella. Very memorable. But at the end of the day, I think Maurice is the Divas champion. So I'm gonna go with Maurice. I mean, I know your answer. It's Kelly.
Is that obvious? Yes, of course. How'd you know my answer is gonna be Kelly?
Kelly versus Michelle McCool. I mean, despite what people perceive how we feel or how you feel about Kelly.
The funniest thing is, I have literally never said I didn't like Kelly. I've never at all. If you go back and watch everything that I've talked about, I have literally never said straight up I don't like Kelly.
In fact, if you watch Paloma matches, she's very much inspired by Kelly.
I know. I do head scissors and all the time.
She's our superhero.
Yes, totally. She's my end spell.
But it's Michelle McCool.
Hands down. Michelle McCool, hands down.
Inaugural Divas champion, history maker. She also unified Women's Championship into Divas Championship.
I will say this every time I talk about Michelle McCool. She had no right being as good as she was. Like, all the cards were stacked against her, and she still, persevered and became this amazing wrestler, athlete champion. So yes, Michelle McCool.
All right, let's go with Michelle McCool. Ooh.
I love how they both almost have the same little pose going on.
Alicia Fox versus Brie Bella.
I'm going to say Alicia Fox right away.
Me too, Alicia Fox. I hate saying this, but Brie Bella, I don't know how to say it in a really nice way, but the only time I dropped from watching wrestling was right after Trish retired and during Brie Bella's I did have to study for SAT during that time.
Oh, okay.
It was a tough tough time. Not necessarily their fault.
No, at all. It was just the way they were being booked the amount of times that, like, the time that we're literally having 2-3 minute matches. No fault to her own, but I do think Alicia Fox's reign was way more memorable, way more entertaining.
It was entertaining. When she was like, I'm the undefined Divas champion, I was like, yes.
The undefined champion of Divas.
Yes. Let's go with Alicia Fox here. Oh, Beth Phoenix versus Nikki Bella.
Okay.
I mean, I'll say Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I was gonna say Beth Phoenix.
What? Shut the hell up. No, how?
I kind of like the juxtaposition that, like, Beth Phoenix was in, where she was basically being, like, the diva killer, diva beater-upper, and then she becomes Divas champion. I think was super, like, iconic, and like, everything that she did coming in was, like, new, fresh, different. It's like, wow, I definitely felt like I haven't seen this since, like, the days of China. Let me hear your Nikki Bella argument. Maybe I could be swayed. Let's see.
I love the whole Beth Phoenix, Kelly, Eve Torres, that whole feud when she was like, Divas versus wrestler. That whole thing. Natalia was like, I might like pizza, but I'm the vegetable. I'm the eat pet. I don't know. That whole thing. I loved it. But Nikki Bella just equals Divas championship. Like, she's the longest ever winning Divas champion ever. The way she just evolved from being a ballet or like just an eye candy to this athlete, just so amazing. And on top of defending her title in so many different times, she also started this whole Total Divas, Total Bellas brand, which is like the whole staple of Divas division. Nikki Bella is the icon, is the legend of Divas.
Alright, you successfully convinced me and defended your thesis very well. Honestly, as soon as you said she's the longest reigning Divas champion, I'm like, oh yeah, I maybe slightly forgot because I was too enamored. I was too enamored and busy with, like, Beth Phoenix and the whole storyline. I really liked the whole, like, pin-up strong gimmick that her and Natalie had going on for a little bit. But I mean, yes, you're right. Okay, it's Nikki Bella.
No, I honestly loved Beth Phoenix and when she became the Divas champion. And some people said, like, oh, that belt didn't go with her, but
I think that was what made it better. Like, honestly, I kind of like that whole difference of it. And I do agree with you. Nikki Bella definitely by far exceeded my expectations, and I'm pretty sure her own, because look at her. She literally has their own brand, even outside of wrestling now. The fact that so many people watch wrestling because of Total Divas is because of the Bella twins, especially because of Nikki. So, yes, I'll give her flowers. It is Nikki Bella.
It is Nikki Bella. All right, that was the first round.
That was the first round. Oh my gosh. I'm sweating about her already.
All right, let's go to the second round. We've got Maurice and Eve Torres. I'm stressed about this.
I'm gonna say Eve Torres because every time I picture Eve Torres, I picture her with the Divas title. Every time I picture, like, Maurice, I picture her like being the great lucha legend herself, or being amazing with Miz and her like doing all the skits and stuff. So I don't necessarily coincide Maurice with the Divas champion, not because her reign wasn't good or I didn't like it. It's just like I'm more pair of Eve Torres and the Divas title.
I mean, both of them are so good, but I think Maurice had that consistent Maurice character. Eve Torres had evolved, and she has like all these different types of storylines that are so interesting. I have to go with Eve Torres too.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Eve Torres. Eve Torres. Okay. Pourquoi? Alicia Fox versus AJ Lee.
This would be a fun tag team, not gonna lie.
Yes.
Like, because they're both like super like entertaining and very vocal, and like I feel like they would probably hold hands and skip around the ring wearing fun hats.
Crazy versus crazy.
Yes, I would love that either as a tag team or like a long-term storyline. I would love this, but I have to go with AJ Lee.
I have to go with AJ Lee because Alicia Fox's reign, first of all, she like won the title out of nowhere.
Which was super random.
Which happened a lot during Divas Championship reign. I think it benefited a lot of the wrestlers, but she also was kind of a placeholder for Melina.
Yeah.
Which was really sad because Alicia Fox was so talented. AJ Lee, she had such a long reign and she really left a mark.
Yeah, like that we're still seeing to this day in the ring right now. Like so many women are wrestling right now because of AJ Lee. So definitely she has her mark for sure. I will say this about Alicia Fox. I don't think I've seen somebody that was as charismatic as her, especially when she was Divas champion. That was super fun.
Right, let's go with AJ Lee. Ooh, okay, Melina versus Nikki Bella.
I'm gonna go with Nikki with this one because how you were saying earlier, I definitely think Melina would. We want to do it too. There's two of them. We have to do it too. You can look, but you can't touch.
Agreed.
Remember when they used to wear those like pants with like the little flare things at the bottom?
That was so cute. Okay, Nikki Bella. Michelle McCool.
We almost said it at the exact same time. I'm like,
come on! Michelle McCool.
I feel like Michelle McCool could do that too.
Yeah. Oh, this is the top 4. Michelle McCool and Nikki Bella.
This one's hard.
So Michelle McCool, the inaugural Divas champion, she also unified the 2 belts into the Divas champion. Nikki Bella, the longest reign, and she's also the most successful diva.
Yes.
Of all time, I'll say.
This is hard. Do you go with the first or the longest?
Both really surprised as like really amazing athletes at the end.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna say 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3. Nikki Bella. Okay.
Okay. Which was kind of hard to do. I was just going through all of it, but I think it's Nikki Bella this time around for sure. I'm surprised we said the same thing.
Yeah. Eve Torres and AJ Lee. A rough one, yeah.
I think if Eve Torres' career was longer, I think she would pull ahead a little bit. But because Eve Torres' career was not as long, I mean, it's crazy to kind of say that AJ Lee's career was even longer because it wasn't really.
Yeah.
But I just feel like AJ Lee's thumbprints are still all over the business right now. Right. And I feel like Eve Torres' might have been the same if she would have been there longer or still have been like wrestling adjacent. I know she's doing amazing with jiu-jitsu and being a Gracie and being a badass, but I think it's AJ Lee.
I think it's AJ Lee. This is definitely a very interesting pairing given that both of them really became a top star of WWE, being involved with the top men when they really became a top star, and then they brought that star power into Divas division, which was awesome. But I agree, AJ Lee, the footprint is longer and the impact is still felt.
And I think with these two, there's a lot of times, especially in the Divas Championship era, where they were like how you said, like just had like weird title changes or like someone who just randomly be champion out of nowhere. I think these two were champions for not only for a while but a lot of times, but they actually made the title like their own and it actually felt like they raised the importance. So I don't think you could go wrong with either choice, but I'm still gonna go with AJ Lee.
Alright. This is the finale! Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee. And if you remember, every year when AJ Lee dropped that pipe bombshell, there's this huge fight every year. Bella Twins fan versus AJ Lee fan over like, she was terrible for saying that. No, she saved the business. And we walked ourselves into it.
Yeah. I think these, you know how you were saying that like so many of these women have like really polarizing fans and fan base. I think these two have some of like the biggest ones for sure, and like are almost like kind of polar opposites.
I feel like they also appeal to different audiences.
Yes, for 1000% do they appeal to different audiences for sure. I mean, one's honestly like love wrestling, grew up as a wrestling fan, you know, like went to signings and stuff, and like Nikki Bella developed into being the great athlete and the wrestler that she became. So like, who do you give more credit to? Like somebody who was basically like destined to and wanted to do this, or like somebody who kind of like made it that way? Because I don't even think this is like wrestling based, honestly, at least in my opinion. I'm not necessarily picking my on wrestling, the wrestling ability. It's more for me like the Divas reign and what they did and what it was.
But the thing is, like, even if you like compare them in like each category, like promo, the looks, the character, the wrestling, I wouldn't say like one person stands out a lot from the other. They're both famous for a reason. They're both beloved for a reason.
They're both very marketable.
Yeah,
honestly, like, and especially like thinking about it, even from a marketing side, they both did something or had something that you could put on T-shirts that little girls are gonna want. There was so many things you could hold on to that you could just like run with it and make them stars, and they did become stars. This is hard. Either way, we're gonna be wrong with like so many people, so I don't think whatever decision we made, somebody's gonna say we're wrong. So.
Also, by the way, if you don't agree with our opinions, I'm putting the link.
At DS, ring the bell.
I'm putting the link for this game so you can play it yourself.
Yes, do it.
So don't yell at us. Okay, but let's do 3, 2, 1.
AJ. Oh! What do we do now?
Okay, why?
Because, like I keep on saying every single time, she still has her mark in wrestling. I do agree. Nikki Bella has a bigger mark outside of wrestling because she's known more like Total Bellas and like the whole like weird talent show she's hosting now. I can't remember what it's called. Sasha was on there at once.
It's like Barmageddon now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Nikki Bella has a huge impact outside of wrestling, and that's not diminishing anything that she did in wrestling, because like I said, she definitely by far blew out my expectations, and I'm sure a lot of other people's expectations. She definitely did stuff that I never thought she would be able to do in wrestling, but I think her mark is bigger outside of wrestling than in wrestling. If it was just like who's a bigger like star, maybe would be Nikki Bella, because more people probably know Nikki Bella now. But within like the WWE Divas champion reign, I think it's AJ, because the mark that she did, not only while she had the title, but even afterwards. Like to this day, everybody hopes that AJ Lee's gonna come back. I mean, of course, we see Nikki Bella come back a few times, and the fact that she came back after a broke freaking neck, come on.
Oh my god, they both are very injured, so they can't really wrestle.
Exactly.
There's so many similarities.
Totally.
Do you think Nikki Bella broke AJ's championship reign, the whole date thing, because?
Oh yeah, definitely because of AJ and because of seeing.
You think so?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Because they're petty like that. They're gonna do stuff like that. They're totally. I mean, not that, but like the powers that be.
I think Nikki Bella, because of the reason you said, because she really appealed to the mass. Like, we've never seen a diva that was so popular, mainstream, and she brought so many eyeballs into the wrestling. She brought so many gays, so many women to watch WWE. So I thought that influence is like so important.
Outside of wrestling.
But they brought it into wrestling.
But how many people are still those watching wrestling now?
That's an interesting point.
I'm sure they'll follow anything that Nikki Bella does, and whatever she does, and whatever she goes, like they'll watch and see what's interested.
What's the mark that AJ left in wrestling?
Literally look at NXT. Like, and everybody who's NXT is basically wrestling because of AJ Lee. And I love that show. It's like, oh, my kids, and it's like Roxanne and Cora Jade, and like literally anybody who's doing great in NXT is a fan of AJ Lee, and it's so cute seeing like all the pictures of everybody was little with AJ Lee and stuff.
I do want to point out there's a lot of wrestlers that says Nikki Bella is the reason they started wrestling. Like, I think Anna Jay. There's a couple in AEW that says that. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. Let's do it. This is the only way we can decide this.
Okay.
I also think, by the way, I don't think Nikki Bella is necessarily the wrong choice. I just would pick. Just saying.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, go! Rock, paper, scissors, go! So it is Nikki Bella. You can love, but you can't touch that. AJ, just kidding. I'm a big AJ. I'm just petty because she didn't give me interviews yet. Just kidding. AJ Lee, if you want to win this, come get interviewed. Okay, love both of them.
Yes,
Nikki Bella is our choice for the greatest Divas champion ever. If you hate it, comment down below.
Go tag DS on it because he picked. I'm just kidding.
Let's just really quickly go through what the people have chosen, because there's already let's see, because there's already 5,000 people that have played.
Wow, okay.
I shared this on my Twitter. So number 1 is actually Melina.
Really?
Who won 26%. What? Jillian Hall is number 2. Won 25% of the game. Number 3, AJ Lee. And then Nikki Bella. So I guess the people.
What? This is... What? I didn't get in my mind blown right now. What?
So people believe more AJ Lee than Nikki Bella, I guess. 2% more. Okay, I guess.
The people have spoken.
The people have spoken. The people have said AJ Lee.
Apparently we said.
But people have really said Jillian Hall.
It's true. I mean, I love Jillian Hall. It just trips me out that she's so high up on the list.
I guess in our tournament, Jillian Hall got automatically out. If she was in it, she's gonna win it.
Totally. But she wasn't in our tournament because it just randomly picked somebody who's not in it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in for this hectic episode.
This was so fun. Can't wait to get canceled.
Yes, to get canceled. Paloma, where can we all find you?
You can find me at Paloma Star on Instagram and Twitter. Send me nice things.
And you can find me at DShin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. And don't forget, Dossier is out with this new fragrance genderless series.
We smell great.
For all of you.
Everybody smell good.
Everybody smell good. Thank you, thank you. See you next time. Bye.